What's up, Lego builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios for another Lego Star Wars review. Today I'm going to be reviewing my first ever Lego Star Wars Separatist set on this channel, and that is the Lego Star Wars AAT. This is set number 8018. Comes with 407 pieces and was released in 2009 for $50 US. The Separatists were the main enemies of the Republic Army in episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Star Wars. They're the ones who built and commanded the massive droid armies, and their main battle tank is an absolute beast. It's bristling with all kinds of guns, missiles, and armaments, as well as these minifigures are really cool. The super heavy battle droids have some very interesting features that I want to show you guys, as well as a really weird looking Yoda minifigure. So let's dive into the set. The sizing of this tank is very good. It's not a small Lego set. It's pretty decently sized, and I think this is very important, especially for tanks, because you're going to want them to be very imposing and have a very dominating presence on the battlefield, and you definitely get that with this. So if you're working on mocks or you just want to play with it, it's going to be a lot of fun because it's big, it's a beast. We're going to start on the front here and kind of work our way up along the back and top. So here you have 6 missile tubes, 3 on either side. These ones are just stickers. They don't actually shoot. However, I do like that they put that. It just adds a little bit of extra detail. You have 2 stickers here. Whoever I bought this from put them on crooked. On either side of the tank, right here, you have the Separatist insignia. On either side, you have this little ladder that climbs up into this hatch that we'll get into later. So in here is where the pilot sits, and right here we have an emergency hatch for him. It doesn't actually open, but in the actual model, this would pop up and the tank pilot would be able to see out in case his computer malfunctioned. On either side of the back, we have these power generators. These are what power this mighty machine. It is a hover tank, so it doesn't have wheels or tracks, so it floats along the ground like that. So you can imagine a heavy tank like this is going to need some serious power behind that. On either side, you have these small arms that rotate up and down. They're cannons, or if you really want a wild ride, they can be flick fire missiles. Along the top, we've got some antennas, and this is the door, I guess you could call, or the lid for the turret. There isn't a whole lot in there, and that makes a lot of sense, I guess, because this is for a droid. They don't really need any kind of comfort, and they can just fold themselves up in there. And this is where the commander sits. So he can open it up and look out and direct from there. This is the main turret on the cannon, and it's really long. As you can see, it's not super thick, but I think it still looks pretty good. It can rotate pretty high. It goes 90 degrees, and that's as flat as it goes. It doesn't go any lower than that. I would have liked it to go just a little bit lower so it can aim at ground targets, but you can't get everything, right? Here we have the hatch that looks on the inside. That's where the pilot would sit. One interesting feature about this tank that I didn't remember until I just barely built it is the entire back comes out. So if you want to see in there, you can actually pull it out and it turns into this little vehicle. So you can drive your superiors around on battle. That's where the droid would sit, and that's where whoever he's driving sits. And so if you open this without that, it's just a gaping hole in there, and there's absolutely nothing in there worth seeing. So that's kind of cool. It kind of 2 vehicles in one. I guess they can use it as an emergency escape if things go south for the tank. So one downside to this tank is there's not a whole lot of detail. This is really it. It's not much of a display piece, but it is still pretty cool. So let's take a look at the minifigures. The 7 minifigures included in this set are from right to left: Jedi Master Yoda, a Phase 1 clone trooper, 2 B1 battle droids, and 3 super heavy battle droids. Let's take a look at each one individually. We're going to start with the super heavy battle droids. I'm just going to show you one because if you've seen one of them, you've seen them all. These 3, however, are very unique in the fact that instead of having 2 normal arms, their right arm is actually a giant rocket launcher, which just adds to just the overall epicness of these droids. They're already huge, larger than B1 battle droids and most clone troopers. And so the fact that they now have rocket launchers installed on one of their arms is really cool. I really like these ones. They do, however, have one downside, and that is their head. And the reason it's a downside is because, as you can see, it can't turn. So they have to turn their whole body in order to see. Next, we have the Comical B1 battle droid. And I say comical because these guys are always doing interesting and weird and stupid things in the Clone Wars. However, they do look pretty cool. Just your standard droid. I really like how they look. They've grown on me a lot over the years. And yeah, nothing too special though. Next, we have a Phase 1 Clone Trooper. Once again, nothing too special. While this set does come with a lot of cool minifigures, it doesn't come with a whole lot of unique minifigures. You get a lot of basic minifigures, which I guess isn't too bad. This one has a cartoon face, though. I don't like these old Clone Wars clones because of their giant bug eyes. I like the newer, more realistic looking clone heads. Last but not least, we have Jedi Master Yoda. I must say I'm not a fan of the mold of the head. I think the back and the head, the top part looks pretty good, but the eyes are what get me. They're just too big and too bulbous, as you can see right there. They're just very unnatural looking, and the reason they are like this is because, once again, Lego was modeling the Clone Wars look, so they wanted a more cartoonish looking Yoda, but I like the original one better. One thing, however, I do think is really cool about this minifigure is the old style lightsaber. This is a new style green lightsaber. As you can see, the old one is almost yellower than the new one. I think that's kind of cool to see the evolution of lightsabers over the years. I'm not sure which one I like better. They are definitely cool for their own reasons. Well guys, that's it for the review of the LEGO Star Wars Armored Assault Tank. I do have some final thoughts I want to leave with you, and that is, this is a really cool set. I'm more than satisfied with it. It's got a great size to it. It comes with a lot of minifigures and some really cool ones as well. It's very fun, very playable. It does, however, have a couple of downsides I need to address, and the first are these flick fire missiles. They are such a pain. They break off and they're super wobbly, super wiggly, and that's something you don't really want if you want a real sturdy, playable tank. The second is the price tag. It has a pretty hefty price tag. When this came out, it retailed for $50. However, now I checked on eBay and they're going anywhere from $60 to $70 to $80 used. I was lucky enough to find this one for $45, which is a pretty good deal in my opinion. So if you really want this set and you keep your eyes peeled, I'm pretty sure you'll run into a deal here or there. So if you're a collector looking for a more collectible, pretty looking piece for your shelf, this one might not be the best one for you. It's not super cool looking, it's pretty plain, and it's pretty lacking in the detail department, but other than that, it's a real good set. I would definitely recommend it if you're into mock building and you want to build your Separatist army and you're still into really playing with Legos and stuff like that. Well, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, make sure to let me know what you think of this vehicle and these minifigures down below in the comments. If you have any questions, concerns, or anything else you want to tell me, feel free to leave them down there as well. Don't forget to leave me a like. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to tap that subscribe button and hit the bell so you'll be notified of all my future content. But until next time, happy building.